calls during our break that we need to bring up before. I'll let Sister Jeanette talk about this. Brother Dean Emerson contacted us saying he was looking forward to being here in the fall. And I think the question is, are there books we want him to bring? So my suggestion is that we have him bring the Psalters, and then we don't need to worry about ordering and having them shipped to Sister Kimberly and having to find a place in her house that a stack of books would like to live for a few months.
Yeah.
So how many copies do you want him to bring, Brother Dean?
10?
10 copies?
10? That might be good, because a lot of people will have it. Okay.
And as registrations come in, if it seems like we need more than that, as long as we would let him know by September, we can adjust that number. Are there other books that you would want to be sure he brought copies of? He's trying not to build up an inventory, thank goodness. And he can put in orders and have them shipped to people's houses, which sometimes is better than trying to figure out how to get it in your suitcase.
If I ask for 5 copies of In the Valley of the Shadow, if any don't sell, I can take them.
5 copies of what?
In the Valley.
Oh, yes.
I do a similar thing for The Faith We Sing and the lectionary.
I'm sorry?
The Faith We Sing and the lectionary.
That's your book, right, Brother George?
It is.
They can both take the extra.
It is.
It is. Is it not? Yes.
Is it not your book?
I can't. Maybe.
We've just gone punchy. I love this. This time at the council.
Sister Heather would like 3 copies of The Reason Why We Sing.
Yeah.
If he has several copies already in his house, and he doesn't have to have it printed,
Right, then.
and he's driving, then it would be good to have more here rather than
Yeah, we
less.
can have a couple of copies of Royal
But
Saints.
if he has to order, you
He
know,
would have to order them. We've
Oh,
pretty
he-
much eliminated the inventory.
okay.
As much
as we can.
Maybe a handful of The Faith We Sing, and not the Faith, For All the Saints.
He does not have copies of that.
We'll have to get that printed, I think. Okay.
That would
So,
be useful.
let me read this back. We want 10 copies of the Psalter, 5 copies of In the Valley of the Shadow. Brother George, how many copies of The Faith We Sing? 2,
5.
5. Why We Sing, 3. And For All the Saints, how many?
Oh, maybe another 3 of those, just in case. somebody
3,
doesn't have
5?
it. Yeah,
3?
something.
I would even think
Brother
possibly.
Mark, you want your book there?
Not if I have to take them home.
Well, actually, I have 3 at my house from the last time I went to NAAL, which was when?
Bring them.
Yeah, I'll bring
There we
it.
go.
Okay,
I'll just bring what I have.
okay, that's fine.
You know, we could like leave them here and have them sell them for us.
Yeah, right? Just stick them on the
I don't-
bookshelf somewhere.
I don't think
I
so.
think if we leave them here, they're theirs. They
Yeah.
can sell them if they want to, if they would keep the money.
Yeah, they would keep the money. And they should. Okay, so I have it. Is there anything else we want him to bring?
I would suggest some books of offices and services, because if we have new folk
Yeah.
who
That's a
are
good,
just attending.
that's a
the
good
meeting,
idea.
The Indigo book.
How many?
Yeah.
5?
Maybe
How about the other ones?
The Indigo book, definitely.
I'm sorry?
The Indigo book.
5 of that.
Indigo, 5 indigo.
Which one's Indigo?
How about the brown book?
Oh, the bronze.
Which we have not yet used this
I
week.
didn't even pack it.
We were told to,
I
weren't we?
brought it.
I suggested that we bring it because one of you told me that people needed it, so.
It was
I
not
did.
me.
Huh?
It was not me.
We're getting enough.
If a sudden need should emerge, we'll have it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've got some of the books at my house from when we went to NAAL. What the heck is my password? Okay, here we go.
The eternal question.
I got everything else written down.
If we knew the answer to that, we would know a lot more in this life.
For new people coming, Brent, if they're involved in the inquiry process, there is a special offer for inquirers to get books. 3 books for $20. And so I would encourage people to give them feedback that says, and we have a bulk order from Bend, Oregon for 40 copies of Offices and Services, Psalter, and
Food for Pilgrims.
Food for Pilgrims. So in the inquirer process, we're getting the books sent out to people. And we obviously have some stock of those that are here. I don't know, Sister Celia, are those in the red books that we have?
Those are with our suitcases. There's some sitting out in the hallway, but yes.
Yeah. So there will be copies of it here if new people come,
Loaner copies.
loaner copies. But they would get a significant discount if they bought them through the Inquirer special offer.
Where is that written up so that it can be shared with people? Because this is actually the first I've heard of it.
The package,
Yeah, like the 3 books for $20 thing.
I'll send it to you
Okay.
in just a minute. Who else wants it?
Brother Dave, send me that too, if you would, please.
Just send it out. Just send it out, spam it out.
I don't think it is, I will be a stick in the mud here. I do not think it is a general offer
That's right.
for how to get 3 books cheap. If
Yeah.
you're not if you're not an inquirer, if you're not coming into the process, this offer doesn't apply to you.
Didn't somebody say something about what is that little book? Do we
for
need
Pilgrims?
Food for Pilgrims?
Wouldn't hurt to have a
Yeah,
couple
it
of
should
Yeah.
always be.
Who is the author of that?
No, I'm just thinking, you know,
Some guy, yeah.
5 food for pilgrims.
I think we're making the list too long.
You think?
Yeah.
We do not want
Okay.
inventory.
No, no.
We can have order sheets.
We can have
But
order
it-
sheets there.
We should have at least 1 copy of the books that are on the order sheets.
That could be.
But we can bring copies.
We sell a lot.
It's 38 books. Is that too many for him to bring, 38 books?
It's not too many for him to bring. It's the question of if he has to take 20 of them back. We
Well-
do not have a place to store books anymore.
Well, several of us have
It's
said
in
we'd
his
be
own
happy to
house.
take care of,
Yeah.
you know, some of the leftovers.
Remainders are what they're called.
There we go.
I'm just questioning adding a lot of things that don't have somebody that is going to take them.
Okay, well, what we have, maybe we want to revise this, is 5 food for pilgrims, 5 book of Offices and Services, 5 Indigo books, 3 copies of Why We Sing, Sister Heather's book, 5 copies of Faith We Sing, Brother George's book, 5 copies of In the Valley of the Shadow, and 10 copies of the revised Lucan Psalter. Is that enough? Plus all the baubles and beads? We have new pewter crosses and the usual stuff. And well, we can,
He has an inventory of those?
No.
no,
No,
Oh,
okay.
of the crosses. Yes, he has an inventory of the crosses. The
Okay.
books, we have no book inventory.
No, I understand.
yeah, we're down to he's got all the inventory in a Tupperware box in his garage. That's it,
Nice.
because he does not have that space in Memphis.
Right.
I have 10 boxes of doxologies in Sacramento Life in my full library next to my office, if anybody wants.
Well,
I don't know what I should do with them. I mean, I don't mind having a couple copies of each, but there's some issues that we have like 20 copies of.
You can bring out a free
Bring 'em
table.
yeah,
If I can get them in the back of my car, I'll bring them.
because there's some articles that
Yeah,
are really, really
some
good.
timeless articles.
Yeah, and a lot of Sac Life articles are very, very good if you have a couple of them lying around. Okay, so that's that, and, okay, let us know if this presents, change.
Were there other calls we needed to respond to?
Yeah, waiting for
What do
Jeanette
we
to
need?
stop typing. I noticed you had NAL written there, so I assumed you had a question about that.
Yes, do we want to do another sponsor table, or should I go to Seattle and sell these books? I can always put them in my suitcase, any leftovers from October, and stick them on the table. I don't know what we want to do about that. I'm willing to go, but I don't want to say I have to go.
Interested in a reaction, particularly from those of you who have been to NAAL meetings. We did a sponsor table last year because we couldn't sell books. It was in Canada, and you end up with issues of cross-border selling. We did the sponsorship so that we would not have an NAAL meeting without OSL's name up somewhere for them to remember we exist. A book table would do the same thing. But do you think we need a sponsorship, a book table, both, neither? What do you think is the impact on what we do at NAL?
One additional piece of information, this year it's in, it's out west, is it?
Seattle.
Seattle. Next year, so that's January 2024. January 2025, there will not be a local meeting, it will all be virtual.
Right.
It's just a piece of information there.
That's why I wondered
Yeah,
if a presence is
Might be a good thing to have a
Desired.
presence.
because we know we'll be taking the next year off.
right.
And then are they going permanently to virtual, or is?
They're not sure, I think they're playing around with ideas and trying to figure things out.
But we definitely need one or the other then.
I'd say the book table,
I'm sorry?
the book table
Book table, okay.
with the person.
With a presence.
And we have a nice banner that goes on the front. I mean, even if you don't go look at the books, you'll see the Order of St. Luke is there.
Yeah, we have a table banner that covers the whole table.
Do you have that?
I do,
Good.
I have that.
Because I have in the past had people say to me, oh, Order of St. Luke, are you still in existence?
Nope.
And
No, we're
and so
not.
I think having something with bodies and names matters.
You are corporeal.
So I'm assuming that's a yes to go. And I do that at my own expense, I don't charge the order to do that. So it's not a,
I welcome your reactions to
Why?
that.
Why?
well, I mean, well, I'm just gonna leave it there.
If somebody would like to make a motion that we do something different, we could do that.
I'm gonna move that we reimburse Sister Jeanette's expenses, and if she chooses then to donate them back, that's her business. But we need to eliminate any kind of financial barrier to people being able to participate
I think that's.
and not rely on people.
That's absolutely right, you're absolutely right about that.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to pay her expenses. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand, please.
Okay, very good.
There are no hands left to oppose.
Just mine.
But I don't see
It was just fun to see.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Big
that,
point for
and
me,
Brother
but-
Brent, I think you make a good point.
Yes,
Sometimes we incur expenses that are comfortable for us,
I gotta get rid of this.
and so we think, oh, I won't bother to turn that in. If you don't turn it in and have us understand what the expenses are, the person who is asked to follow you in the position is put in a very awkward financial position. So keep it all on the table, and yes. If at the end of the year you want to donate $10,000, you're certainly welcome to do that.
But may I recommend First United Methodist Church Brownsville
Sorry?
for your $10,000 donation, First United Methodist Church Brownsville.
Oh,
And how's that spelled?
I think I'll get more support with the Southern Dallas
GARLASD.
Economic Opportunity Center, with more people that live in town.
Brother George, I think you had some new business issues, discussion items to bring up.
An idea has been floated a couple of times about having this council meeting as a virtual meeting. And the question has always been trying to get the council to meet at the same place where we have our retreat. Coming here, that's a piece of cake, because we've been here so often, we know this place very well. So we could easily be virtual when we know we're coming here, with a couple of exceptions. Number one being when we need to meet in person is when we need to have a nominating committee made up of priors and canons to work on officers for the order, which will be next year. Next year is, the leap years are the years in which we do that. So next May, we will be here physically and so on. I'm going to suggest that we also need to meet physically in person the year after new offices are elected, so that they can get their feet on the ground and get to know with whom they're working, if they don't know already who they're working with, because we've all been around for a while, with some exceptions. But the one after that might be a time to do a virtual one, again, if we're going to be here. The reason to do it in person if we're not here is that we would need to know the space that we have, both for meeting and for worship. And so I'm gonna make kind of two proposals, and one, and I'll make them one at a time, but I want to propose that at least one meeting in every 4 years would be a virtual council meeting. We know we love the idea of being together and worshiping together and renewing friendships and love and caring for one another. And I don't discount that, but I'm thinking in terms of a cost-saving kind of thing for the order, we could do this business virtually. So I'm proposing once every 4 years, we would have one council meeting virtual.